Once upon a time, in a peaceful forest filled with green trees, soft grass, and the gentle sound of a flowing stream, 5 little frogs were hopping happily together. They were friends, cheerful, curious, and full of life. Every morning they would explore a new part of the forest, play near the ponds, and jump from rock to rock just for fun. One bright day, as they were crossing a narrow path covered with dry leaves, the ground beneath them suddenly gave way. Before they could understand what was happening, 3 of the frogs slipped and fell into a deep pit, hidden beneath the leaves. The 2 frogs who were still on top ran to the edge and looked down. The pit was dark, deep, and steep. Its walls were wet and muddy, making it almost impossible to climb. The 3 frogs at the bottom were frightened, but they quickly gathered courage and started jumping, trying to escape. The 2 frogs above began to shout, "Oh no, it's too deep. You'll never make it out of there. Stop trying, you're only wasting your strength." Hearing this, one of the frogs below stopped for a moment. He looked up, saw how far the top was, and whispered to himself, "They're right. It's hopeless." After a few more weak jumps, he gave up and sat quietly in one corner of the pit. His hope faded away. The other 2 frogs kept trying. Their tiny legs were covered in mud, their bodies trembling with exhaustion, but they didn't stop. They believed that maybe, just maybe, there was still a chance. However, the voices from above grew louder and sharper. "Why don't you understand?" the frogs on top yelled. "You can't come out. This pit will be your home forever." Hearing this again and again, another frog began to lose heart. He looked at his tired friend beside him and said softly, "Maybe they're right. Maybe this is the end." And with that, he too stopped jumping and sat down in silence. Now only one frog kept trying. He was smaller than the others, but something inside him refused to quit. Even as the 2 frogs above kept shouting, he continued, jump after jump, again and again. "Can't you hear us?" they yelled. "Stop it. You're only hurting yourself." But the little frog didn't stop. His legs ached, his body was trembling, but his heart was full of belief. And finally, with one last powerful leap, he reached the edge of the pit and climbed out. All the other frogs stared at him in disbelief, wondering how he managed to do it. Let me tell you how he did it. That frog was able to come out because he was deaf. Sometimes in life, we are just like those frogs in the pit. We fall into difficult situations, problems, failures, or setbacks that seem impossible to escape. And around us, there are always people shouting from above, saying, "You can't do it. It's too hard," or "You're wasting your time." At first, their words might sound harmless, but slowly they begin to take root in our minds, and before we know it, we start believing them. We stop trying. We sit down. We give up. But remember this, if you want to achieve something meaningful in life, you must learn to be like the deaf frog. Deaf to negativity, deaf to fear, deaf to the voices that try to pull you down. Because the truth is, people will always talk. They'll talk when you fail. They'll talk when you succeed. They'll talk when you stand still. And they'll talk when you rise. So why care? Their opinions don't define your worth. Your actions do. The greatest disease in the world is, what will people say? And the greatest freedom is, I don't care what they say. So whenever life feels like a deep pit, and voices around you try to stop you, be like that little frog. Keep climbing, keep believing, and keep moving forward. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to share it with someone who needs hope today. And if you're new here, make sure to subscribe to our channel. I'll be back again with another inspiring story. Till then, take care